Everyone says you need 3 to 6 months of expenses saved, but if you're drowning in credit card debt, the advice is not only useless, it's actively keeping you broke. Let me explain. So early February, we got hit with some absolutely bleak economic news. 108,000 jobs cut were announced in January 2026, the highest since the Great Recession in 2009. That's a 118% increase from last January. UPS, Amazon, massive layoffs at Meta, honestly, layoffs everywhere, and hiring intentions record low. But then February 11th, the jobs report comes out saying US hiring starts the year at a strong pace. But that doesn't shine a light on how job categories like white collar jobs, including professional services, technology, financial services, media, retail, and government, have been stagnant or in the decline completely. So which is it? Are we screwed or is everything fine? Honestly, I have no idea. The economy is confusing. The news is overwhelming, and most of the stuff we can't directly control anyway. You know what you can control? Being ready for the worst. Whether that's a layoff, a health emergency, your car dying on the highway, or something even worse than that, there's one thing that makes all of this less catastrophic: an emergency fund. I know, I know. Emergency funds are the most boring topic ever. It's like the financial equivalent of eating your vegetables. No one gets excited about it except for me. There's no dopamine hit. You're literally just preparing to be sad later. But here's the thing. Having an emergency fund is the difference between a crisis and a small inconvenience. So today, we're talking about how much you actually need, where to put it, and why the advice you've been hearing might be a little bit wrong or completely wrong for your particular situation. For those of you that are new here, I'm Tiamo, and this is Real Money Questions answered honestly, no pretending like I've always had it together. Let's start with what everyone tells you. You need 3 to 6 months of expenses saved. Cool, super helpful, except for when you're making $45,000 a year and you have $30,000 in student loans, $8,000 in a credit card, and your rent just went up $200. Hearing someone say just save $15,000 feels like someone telling you to just buy a house when you can't even afford groceries. It's not that the advice is wrong, it's that it's incomplete. Because here's what nobody says. The right emergency fund for you depends on where you financially are right now, not where some financial gurus think you should be. So let's break this down by actual life situations, not fantasy land. First, let's talk about what we're even calculating. Your emergency fund is not based on your total monthly expenses. It's based on your essential bare minimum living expenses. Here's what counts: rent or mortgage, utilities, keeping the lights on, the heat on, cell phone, so people can call you back when those opportunities come up, groceries, not DoorDash, not delivery, actual groceries, gas to go to interviews or appointments, car payment if you have one, and insurance. Everything else, that has to wait or just get canceled. This is a true emergency. No Netflix, no gym membership, not even a fast food trip, nothing. When you're calculating your emergency fund, you're not funding your current lifestyle. You're funding survival mode. So take those essential expenses, add them up, and that's your monthly baseline. Now, here's where it gets personal. Only you can decide what works for your situation. 1 month emergency fund is what we're going to start with. If you're drowning in student loans or credit card debt, here is my hot take. Put all of your money towards those debts. There is zero point in having a savings account sitting there earning 3% when you're paying 8 to 30% on credit card debt. The math does not math. And this is important. You still need something saved. That's where the 1 month emergency fund comes in. Can you cover 1 month of rent and utilities, insurance, transportation, and your cell phone? That's it. That's the baseline. Because if something goes wrong and you have $0, you're going into more debt to fix it. And that's the spiral we're trying to avoid here. So yes, attack the debt, but have 1 month saved so a flat tire doesn't send you back to square one. Here's how I think about it. If I had to use that 1 month, I'm in scary territory. So I'm immediately canceling every non-essential. Hulu, gone. Coffee subscription, canceled. I am full out survival mode. It's not fun, but it's better than being completely screwed. Next group is 2 months. If you still have a high interest car payment, I put you in this category. Once your high interest debt outside your car is paid off, you're only dealing with that car payment and mortgage or rent. I'd aim for 2 months. Why? Because cars break, and then when they do, it's expensive. If you only got 1 month saved and your transmission dies, you're either going into debt to fix it or you're digging into that emergency fund and now have zero safety net. 2 months gives you a little bit of breathing room. Some people also like this number because it covers things like health insurance deductibles. And if you have a $2,000 deductible, for example, and something happens, you're not immediately wiped out. That level of security feels good to a lot of people. If that's you, cool, 2 months. Now, 3 to 6 months, the standard advice. This is the range everyone talks about. And I remember the first time I heard save 6 months of expenses and thinking, how in the hell am I supposed to come up with that kind of money? That's insane. At first, it seems impossible, but little by little, you can grow this, I promise. Set a goal each month of how much you're putting in there. Do a low spend month, boost it faster, get a bonus at work, throw it in there. Generous element gives you $200 for your birthday. Great, goes to your emergency fund. Now, choosing between 3 months and 6 months is personal, but here's how I think about it. Closer to 3 months if you have a partner, for example, who can help cover bills if you lose your income, or your living expenses are relatively low and you can cut back easily, or maybe your job is really stable, or you're in a field that you can find work really quickly. 3 months works. Closer to 6 months if you have kids or people that rely on your income, maybe that you're the main breadwinner, you know your car's kind of getting old and you might need replacing it soon, or your industry is just volatile, maybe you're a single income household. 6 months gives you a much longer runway to find the right job, not just any job. All right, then there's 12 months for the really risk adverse or self-employed. I can already hear some people saying, Tiama, are you insane? 12 months? Oh my gosh. Look, I know that sounds extreme, but I've seen multiple people on LinkedIn who've been on the job hunt for 11 months. 11 months, not 11 weeks, 11 months. That's a long time to have no income and very little income from most likely unemployment if they even qualify. Do I think everyone needs this? No, absolutely not. I don't even have this myself, but here's why I don't. I have a husband with an income. I have things I could sell if I got desperate. I have no debt besides my mortgage. I have a brokerage account I could pull from. So I have options before I ever need to tap into the 12-month emergency fund. But if you are in consulting, a commission-based sales job, or self-employed, or your role is super niche and takes forever maybe to replace, that might not be a bad idea for you. I'm not saying you have to do this. I also haven't been in everyone's shoes, so I want to put it out there as an option. Okay, it'd be an incomplete picture if I didn't tell you where to put this money. Put it in a high yield savings account or money market account. Most high yield savings accounts have lower fees and no minimum balances, but check the rates on both. Right now I have one that's at 3.65 and another at 3.25%. So I know they're changing every month or so just take a peek. Is that in the stock market? No. I can grab that money anytime, and it's better than the 0.0001% I'm getting at the banks. So don't put it in the stock market where it's harder to pull out, and don't put it in a savings account with very little return. Please, please, please don't keep it in your regular checking account. Have that money do something for you while it sits there. All right, real talk time. In my 20s, I thought emergency funds were for people who weren't living like me, paycheck to paycheck. I was drowning in student loans and credit card debts. I made terrible financial decisions. I genuinely thought I would die with my student loans still unpaid. The idea of saving even $500 felt laughable. Like, cool advice, rich people. Meanwhile, I'm over here deciding between gas and groceries. But here's where I am today. $0 in student loans, $0 in credit card debt, $0 in car loan. I bought my car in cash. I maxed out my HSA every year, my 401k every year. I have sinking funds for things like travel and charity. I have a 6-month emergency fund because that's my comfort level. Yours can be different. And I'm currently working on paying off my primary residence in 10 years instead of 30 years. If you told me at 25 that I'd be a net worth millionaire by my mid-30s, I would have ignored you completely because I would have thought you were insane. But I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this because I'm genuinely proud of how far I've come. And if someone with zero financial knowledge growing up, who started with a very negative net worth and turned it around in about 10 years can do this, you can too. Here's your action plan. Step 1, calculate your bare minimum essential monthly expenses: rent, utilities, phone, groceries, gas, insurance, minimum debt payments if you have to keep those afloat. That's it. Step 2, decide which level emergency fund makes sense for your life right now. Still in debt? 1 month, for example. Only car at 2 months. Debt-free or low debt? 3 to 6 months. And self-employed or high risk? Consider that 6 to 12 months. Then step 3, open a high yield savings account. If you don't have one already, I'm not sponsored by any of them, so just go Google best high yield savings account 2026 and pick one with a good rate and no fees. And step 4, set up automatic transfers. Even if it's $50 a month, even if it's $25, start small, but please do start. Look, the economy is weird right now. Layoffs are happening, hiring is confusing. The news is honestly scary, but you can't control any of that. But what you can control is being ready when life throws you a curveball. And that happens no matter what. An emergency fund won't make you rich. It won't make you Instagram famous, and it's not sexy, I get it. But it will let you sleep at night, and it will keep you from starting over from scratch every time something goes wrong. So start small, pick your number, and build it up little by little, because future you is going to be really, really grateful you did. Drop a comment and tell me, Where are you at in your emergency fund? Are you starting from zero? Do you have 6 months saved? Are you a much bigger saver? Or are you just somewhere in between? And if you've got a money question you want answered honestly, no shame, no judgment, just real talk, drop it below or send it my way. Real money questions answered honestly, no pretending like I've always had it together.